Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's great to see you all here. Hopefully you all in good condition right now. Thank you for listening my answer to the question given. My name is Adelia Putri Adiko. Friends call me Adele sometimes. I'm from Management International class with the student number 1024191019. Now I would like to answer the question given by my lecturer, Sir Adi Mursalin. Firstly, I will answer the question part A, which deal with the activity in Zoom meeting. There are 4 questions there. Next, I will answer the question on part B, which deal with the theories of advanced HRM. Part A. 1. Are you active in attending the lecture of Advanced Human Resource Management? Do you engage in the discussion handled by your friends? Can you give the evidence of your activity in the discussion in Zoom meeting? And the answer is yes. I'm very active in attending the lecture of Advanced HRM, and yes, I also engage with the discussion that have been handled by my friend through presentation. When my friends group already finished explanation the material, I usually ask why I don't still understand and still confused, and answering the question given in the end of the presentation. 2. How many chapters have been presented before the final term test? Mention the topic of the chapter and the presenter. How do you find the presenter? Alright, so the total of chapters that have been presented in Zoom meeting class are 7. First is the chapter 28, election interviewing by Revelia. Chapter 29, selection test by Tasha. Chapter 30, introduction to organization by Irvani. Chapter 31, release from organization by Nut Pratista. Chapter 32, basis of performance management by Willa. Chapter 33, the process of performance management by Arsha. And the last chapter that we discussed together is chapter 37 with the material how people learn, and it is presented by myself. So every student already present the material with very well from the presentation. I gain more knowledge, and of course it's related to human resource management material. In the end of presentation, there are some questions, and also we did discussion together so we can fully understand the material. 3. What can you obtain from watching your friend's presentation? From watching my friend's presentation, I can know more knowledge about HRM. As I mentioned before, every material that had been developed in Zoom meeting so important, and fully I can learn and implemented it later, especially me as a HRM student. 4. What book is used in your study of advanced HRM? How do you find the book? The title of book for my student is 10th edition Personal Management Handbook of Human Resource Management Practice, and the file book is given by my lecturer since last semester. It can be found on WhatsApp group. So I already answered for the part A. Now I would like to answer for the part B. Number 1. What is motivation? Motivation is concerned with the factor that influence people to behave in certain way. The process of motivation is much more complex than many people believe. People have to different needs, establish different goals to satisfy those needs, and take different action to achieve those goals. It is wrong to assume that one of approach to motivation fits all. That is why the assumption underlying belief in the virtues of performance-related pay as a means of providing of motivational incentive are simplistic. Motivational practices are most likely to function effectively if they are based on proper understanding of what is involved. For the next question, I will answer it based on the article that given. 1. How do you think Xerox was able to motivate its employee through the crisis it's facing in 2000? So Mulcahy, as the executive of company, has turned Xerox around. One of her guiding principles was a belief that in order to achieve customer satisfied, employees must be interested and motivated in their work and able to create a stronger and more focused company. She created a strong and successful business, but encouraged individuals to speak their own mind, to not worry about hurting one another's feelings, and to be more critical. 2. How does a CEO with such a large number of employees communicate priorities to worldwide workforce? The importance of managing individual in different way and not intentionally intimidating people but rather relating to them and their individual perspective. As a CEO, she wants to encourage people to get things done, take risks, and not be afraid of those risks. 3. How might Ursula Burns motivate employees to take calculated risks? She motivated her team by letting them know what her attention and priority are. The correlation between a manager relationship style and the productivity and motivation of employees is apparent at Xerox, where the employees feel the sense of importance and part of the process necessary to maintain the successful and profitable business. 4. Bethany and Russell Burns were lifetime performance at Xerox. How does the organization attract and keep the individual for such a long period of time? So the Xerox company trying to maintain on the productivity and performance of employee to manage and motivate employees from the background and experience. Mulcahy believed that among other key business chains, motivating employees at Xerox was the key way to pull the company back from the brink of failure. Alright, I had answered all the questions for the article Motivation at Xerox. Now, number 3 are what are the difference between leader and manager? Explain and give the example to your answer. Manager have different responsibility based on what they do and who they are managing. They have the ability to delegate and implement plans for a business or team. Managers are necessary to keep a consistent understanding of who is in charge in group. Leader is a person who takes the lead in group and chooses to perform the best of his ability and helps others the same. A successful business owner needs to be both a strong leader and manager to get their team on board to follow them toward their vision of successful. Leadership is about getting leader to understand and believe in your vision and to work with you achieve your goals, while managing is more about administering and make sure the day-to-day things are happening as they should. For example, the manager acts as a monitor by constantly scanning and observing the business environment to extract information with the variety of sources like liaison agent, industrial journal, web survey. For what is the XY theory of management? Theory X and theory Y suggesting two aspects of human behavior at work, or in other words, two different views of individual or you can say employees. One of which is negative, call it as a theory X, and the other is positive, so call it as theory Y. According to McYoger, the perception of manager on natural individual is based on various assumptions. Thus, we can say that theory X presents a pessimistic view of employee nature and behavior at work, while theory Y presents an optimistic view of employee nature and behavior at work. If correlate it with Maslow theory, we can say theory X is based on the assumption that the employee emphasizes on psychological needs and safety needs, while theory X is based on the assumption that the social needs, external needs, and self-actualization needs dominate the employees. It viewed theory Y to be more valid and reasonable than theory X. Thus, he encouraged cordial team relation, responsible and stimulating job and participant of all in decision making. 5. Explain the three types of motivation to David McClellan. There are three types, namely achievement motivation, authority or power motivation, and affiliation motivation. The person achievement motivation and therefore seeks achievement, attainment of realistic but challenging goals, and advancement in job. Also, there is a strong need for feedback as the achievement and progress of a need for a sense of accomplishment. For the person is authority motivation, this driver produces a need to be influenced, effective, and to make impact. There is a strong need to lead and their ideas prevail, and also motivation need toward increasing personal status and prestige. Last is the person affiliation motivation and need to friend is motivation toward interaction with the other people. The affiliation driver produce motivation and needs to be liked and held in proper regard. and these people are team players. 6. What I get and learn from Link Given is Charles Handy, who has written many books filled with the modern ideas about work, fulfillment, and globalization and life purpose. Also, his early work, such as his motivation calculus outlined below, has been steadily praised and strengthened by his more recent modern and sophisticated think about purpose of work, business, and organization. Handy's motivation calculus attempt to cater to complexities and variation in people through its organization. He carry off a needs model, implies that our motivation is driven by more complex, serious needs to needs alone that is our own interpretation and assessments form additional layers determined by our responses to our needs and the effect of those responses is need, result, and effectiveness. 7. The question for this number will be related with the case, namely the Hellspawn swim. 1. What is motivational force and factor can you see in this case study? What motivational theories and concepts are illustrated in the account? For example, Maslow hierarchy of needs, theory XY, Maclellan motivational theory, and the ideas of Adam, Bloom, Handy, and Herzberg. Maslow hierarchy of needs. Maslow divided the needs in the 5-level hierarchy, being physiological needs, safety needs, and social needs, esteem needs, and needs for self-actualization. Here's the case study of protagonists. The first 3 needs seems to have been already met, and the whole purpose of taking swim challenging is to satisfy their esteem need and self-actualization need. The sole intent to undertake swim was to fulfill their needs of status, fame, glory, recognition, attention, reputation, and appreciation at each. Especially the protagonist wanted to be something great to himself and wanted to test himself to maximum by doing something very difficult. Theory XY. While the analyze the case study, inference can be drawn from theory Y of this theory. The protagonist, after setting the goal to swim Euro-Asia Channel, dedicate the method of and preparation of Steve and David, even though all the 3 were integrated toward one common goal and participate in the preparation together. The fact that Steve practiced and implemented the front crawl rather than breaststroke, which was used by the protagonist and David, clearly indicate the freedom they enjoy working on the common goal. Log goal setting theory. As stated in the log goal setting theory, the protagonist and his friends set a specific and particularly a difficult goal for themselves. They were self-motivated, and reputation of being rare even drove them to its completion. They faced several challenges related to the paperwork, their physical condition, shortage of time, at first weather and water condition, but the difficulty of the job motivated them. The public knowledge of their goals also ensured that they were always focused on the success, and this increased their overall commitment. Bandura efficacy. Theory similar of the goal setting theory. This is theory also illustrated as the protagonist had a lot of confidence in himself, never thought twice once he committed himself to the task. They also practice hard and try to prepare themselves for the challenging. 2. Also, what you can say about the story from the perspective teamwork, team building, communication, planning and preparation, capability and potential, target and goals, inspiration and role model, skill, knowledge, attitude, factor, humor and fun, project management, encouragement and coaching, project support, achievement and recognition, evaluation and measurement. The answer is communication. Communication was not done in the best possible manner. The mood, and the timing could have been better in this case. Was only verbal communication between 3 characters that 2 under influence of alcohol, where they all decided and agreed to swim the Hellspot. Planning and preparation. As they didn't have any experience of swimming, they took the trainings in the multiple pools, got the paperwork done for getting the entire to the health put swim. They involve of a lot planning and preparation for the swim. Wherever the time spent of overall planning and practice could have been better. Capability and potential. They were very much sure of their potential by keeping in the view that if Lord Byron can do it, we can make it. At the end, they were able to do it by keeping themselves motivated. Inspiration and role model. Legend of hero and leader inspired by Lord Byron, which is term was an inspiration for these three friends. Also, the request for unmatched glory was also a major contributor to their achievement. Skill, knowledge, and attitude factor. They had a positive attitude toward the attainment of their goals, and they took the trainings and vitamin pills to keep them fit and accomplish their goals. In my opinion, their determination was the biggest factor which helped them overcome all struggles. Humor and fun. There was a lot of humor involved as a thief was extremely fat with the bad eating habits, even managing the swing, and three of them decided for swing while having a bottle of wine. Fun after completing the race as they celebrate their success, having a brandy in the memory of Linder. Also, David foot in the mouth comment of the Turkish media was the humorous moment of the case. Project management. From project management perspective, the entire project was starting till the end was managing eventually. Getting the paperwork done, mapping the route of the participant, arrange the fitness vitamin pills, calling the press for the event involved project management. Encouragement and in coaching. As already mentioned earlier, they took the coaching in multiple pools to be ready to swim in hill spot. They also found the unconventional coach and guide the Hussein who would take care of all the relevant details. Achievement and recognition. After the three of them managed the complete hell spot swim, they become a popular in Turkish TV as they managed to complete the swing which was supposed to be completed by those who are supposed to be gods. They felt proud of themselves and basked in the glory together. 3. What aspect of the experience could have been improved or done differently, and why? Training and preparation. This is one area they could have been done much better. The time they spent on planning and training was very less than required. And then first of all, they should have a plan with some time in hand. Any successful project requires adequate planning and defined timelines. Instead, they took the decision under the impression of alcohol and rushed into everything. Secondly, since they were short on time, they didn't practice well. For a swim in commercial sea lane, they practiced it in multiple pools, which are by no means comparable. Also, their body were not in shape for such physical activities. Still, they ventured into it. They were unprepared and in way on integrate their life to complete these goals. And then they could have research some more. They were aware that Byron did this in second attempt, but still did not try find out why he failed for the first time. As a tool, use a breaststroke technique, and that might be the reason for this first time failure. If they might have run and might have practiced the front crawl through. This might have made their achievement even more glorious, as the time taken would have reduced substantially. 4. What other aspect of personal motivation and achievement can you see in the story? 1. Having a clear vision of goal is a great motivation. Having a clarity of goals, strategy, and vision help in achieving the target more efficiently. In the story, when our protagonist was swimming without anything in sight except water, he felt rejected. He was not aware how much distance he was covered, whether he is going in right direction or not, whether his team is fine or not, whether he will be able to complete it or not, any age. He started doubling his skill and strategy. He felt tired, but as soon as he heard a shout from the boat, saw the hill, and got the other hints that he is near the target. He felt rejuvenated. His strength came back. He was able to put even more effort. He got even more motivated and complete the remaining stretch with the great efficiency. 2. Never give up. The biggest motivation in the story is having never say die attitude. Despite facing a lot of hardship and struggle, they continued their quest of glory. They were unprepared. They were not fit enough for such strength-seeking activity. The swim condition, temperature were on at first sight. They feel exhausted and tired during the swim, but still somehow they managed to keep their head calm and motivation level up to complete this achievement of lifetime. Teamwork. They displayed a tremendous team spirit and teamwork while preparing for the challenge. Once the protagonists decide to commit to do it, nobody from two team backed out. Everybody support each other during the whole activity. During the swim also, they were appreciative of each other, and our protagonist praised the stiff decision to front crawl and also was immediate to admit his mistake of not doing the same without any ego or false attitude. 5. How might the lesson and example within this story be transferred to yourself, to employees and organization? There were many lessons to learn from this story which can be transferred to our life. Some of them is being determined is very important. If we are determined to achieve something, we will be successful despite the struggle and problem. Motivation to achieve something is the key of any success. Without the right motivation, even the capable will not be able to perform its capabilities, and with the right motivation, even the average skill set can achieve a great success. Appreciation and support of others are critical for motivation level of an individual. Number 8. What have you got from studying Advanced Human Resource Management for one semester? And how do you find the lecturer of Advanced Human Resource Management via Zoom meeting? How can the lecturer of Advanced Human Resource Management contribute to your success in your lifetime in the future? And the answer is, so I learned Advanced HRM for about one semester and the material with the 13th chapter, and I'm very grateful that I was able to learn it because many things were learned from Advanced HRM class. Usually in the presentation, in the end of the presenter give us the chance for asking what we'll still not understand about the material and new knowledge about HRM that I got, which will be useful for me in the future while I work, or give me how to guide work in the organization, and then knowing whether the work performance is good or still needs to be improved. Last number is what the topic have you presented? How important is your topic presented to you? In this Advanced HRM class, I had presented chapter 37 with the topic how people learn. For me, the material itself is very important, and because after I learn from my own material, I get know that with the learning something new, it can be achieve new knowledge, skill, capability, whereas a training is more several responses of organization can take to promote learning. The effectiveness of learning will be strongly influenced by the context in which it takes place, and this include the values of organization later. You can learn through the experimental learning, and it can be enhanced through the creating environment in which people can be stimulated to act in ways that help to make good use of your own experience. Well, my dear friends, this is the end of my video, and I hope you all get the benefit from my answer. I truly apologize if there's some mistaken word from me before, and thank you. Stay safe. Have a great day.